What's going on, everyone? Brad Abbott here, and welcome to episode 9 of Gear Stories. Today, we're taking a look at the Great Divide SBDC-17-G. Let's get right into it. So, Great Divide is a company that is owned by two old hippies. That's the name of the company, Two Old Hippies. And it's run by literally two old hippies, which is great. My kind of people. So, they make made Great Divide guitars. They currently make Bedell and Breedlove guitars. Breedlove I pretty much guarantee you've heard of, but Bedell you might not have. Bedell are incredible guitars, and you can check out another Gear Stories episode on my Bedell. I definitely suggest checking out that episode because Bedell makes awesome stuff out of reclaimed wood. It's good for the environment, and I love the environment. So talking about the Great Divide SBDC-17-G, with Gear Stories, I always start off with the story of the guitar. So the reason I picked this one up is because I had another Great Divide that had a giant old school CRT TV and stand fall on it. The guitar was actually on a stand in front of the TV. I had to move the TV out to connect an Xbox or something of that nature. And when I wheeled the stand out, it was top heavy. TV fell, took the guitar out like that, and landed on it. So the guitar was face down on the ground, heavy ass TV on top of it. And what ended up happening to that Great Divide is there's a nice crack down here. And what I thought that was going to lead to was the bridge position fluctuating and therefore affecting the action and intonation of the guitar, possibly leading to fret buzz. So I decided to replace it since Great Divides aren't really that expensive. I believe I got both of these guitars for under $200 a piece. So I definitely wanted to keep a Great Divide, so I picked this up on Guitar Center's used website. I saw that it had a solid cedar top after I did some research. So I definitely wanted to go with this, especially since at the time I did not have another guitar with a cedar top, and I wanted to, replace my backup Great Divide. So I picked this up. Since then, it hasn't been one of my main guitars. I don't really give this one the attention it deserves, but it is still an awesome guitar. It's got a great bass tone, very warm because of the cedar top, and this guitar performs really well and punches well above its price point, and that's always something I appreciate. So this guitar hasn't seen any stages, with me anyway, but you can tell it's got a story from the previous owner because this blemish here on the sound hole rosette and this gouge here, this gouge here, this gouge here, none of that came from me. That's all from the previous owner. So this thing got used, has probably seen a couple campfires, might have even played live with whoever owned it before I did. Most of my guitars I did acquire used. In fact, my only brand new guitar was my Taylor 210E right there. It's great. It was a graduation gift. I love that thing, but when it comes to spending money, I'm a little frugal. I tend to shop the used market a lot. Every other thing aside from that Taylor 210. Oh, and my LTD bass. That's also brand new, but everything else is used. So I've never played live on stage with this guitar. I've never recorded anything with this guitar. However, when I went camping, I would definitely take this. My grandparents used to own a camp. They no longer do. A tree fell through it. Nobody was there, luckily, but camp's ruined. So now, this guitar just kind of stays here because it's an awesome guitar. And I don't really care to get rid of it because they don't make Great Divides anymore. And these things punch so far above their price point, I feel like it has more value here than it would selling it to get something else because let's face it, if I sell a guitar, I'm using the money to buy another guitar. It's just what I do. In fact, it's starting to become a problem. So moving on to the specifications of the Great Divide SBDC-17-G, which by the way is way too long of a model number. This is a solid cedar top with a rosewood bridge and fingerboard, laminate sapele back and sides with a mahogany neck, and die-cast generic tuners that hold tune just fine. As you can see, it's got the dot inlays and a nice sound hole rosette that's supposed to look like some kind of rosewood or mahogany. However, it's clearly just a sticker, and it's been worn away over the years of the previous owner using it, but still cosmetically appealing and a very good guitar, especially for the price point and how it sounds. So let's go ahead and crack open some demos of this beast. Let's start off with what used to be, and possibly still is, the Gear Stories intro. So right away, you notice that bass response. This guitar, to me, actually kind of sounds muddy. A lot of people like the way cedar sounds. I am one of them. However, on this guitar, it just seems to kind of drown out the higher notes. So this guitar's tone really isn't what I prefer, to be honest. And that's actually not the mic doing that. Like, even hearing it in person behind it, the bass is just a little too much for my taste, which is honestly probably why this guitar doesn't get as much love as any of the other ones. This is definitely the guitar that gets played the least. So for the next demo, we're going to slow it down a little bit, and we're going to go into a song from the new LP, which is titled How Are You? This song in particular is called Arson. It's a very simple, calm riff. Check it out. So we're going to slow it down even more still and go to a finger-picking line. This is from a song of mine called Next to You, which is also on the new LP, How Are You? One thing I will give this guitar is that it rings out very nicely. And last but not least, we're going to play a little bit of lead guitar. This is the solo I did for the cover of One Headlight, which you can find here on YouTube, so check that out. I will, of course, link that video in the description below. Let's go ahead and get right into this. Full disclosure, I haven't played this for a while, so if I keep messing it up, I'm not going to take 50 takes. You're just going to have to listen to some shittiness. So hopefully that gives you guys a pretty decent idea of what the Great Divide SBDC-17-G is all about. Between its solid cedar top and laminate sapele back and sides, this guitar does have quite a bass response and a very warm tone. So if that's your thing, and if you're seeing one of these on your local Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, and you're looking for something, it's a cedar top, it's got that nice warm bass response, this guitar is awesome for you, especially if you're on a budget and you found it for cheap like I did. I really couldn't be much happier with the way the Great Divides perform, even if this one's tone isn't quite what I prefer. So before I let you guys go, a couple other things I want to touch on. This year, 2021, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So share this with your friends. Be sure to subscribe. It really does help me out a ton. You can also find me on pretty much all other forms of social media at Brad Abbott Music. That includes Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And, of course, BradAbbottMusic.com, where you can catch all of my work, download some of the late night sessions and song stories, and, you know, just kind of go ham. Join the mailing list, do whatever it is you do. You can find show dates there, updates, all kinds of things. And if you're one of my most loyal followers, I'll send you an invite to join my secret Facebook group, The Journey. So thank you guys for being awesome and so very supportive, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Click subscribe and ring the bell. We'll see you next time.